are not our own. We are bound to others, past and present. And by each crime and every kindness, we birth our future.
I've been thinking a lot recently about the whole concept of giving movies a second chance. You know, critics see films, they write reviews of them, and then people say, will you ever go back and see them again? And, you know, maybe you've changed your mind. And I've discussed this quite a lot, that quite often you'll go back and see a film and it looks very different second time round. Well, there was an example recently that's had particular relevance for me, and this is Cloud Atlas. I'm sure you know Cloud Atlas was based on a novel by David Mitchell. Everyone said it was completely unfilmable, and it's made by Tom Tykwer and the Wachowskis. And it's an extraordinarily ambitious and really quite mind-bending story taking place over a series of different time periods with actors playing different characters, sometimes even different genders. And all these stories tie together in a way which is very enigmatic, very charismatic, very kind of baffling. And when I reviewed it the first time round, I said, look, it's an honourable failure, but it is a failure. What's honourable about it is the fact that they've actually even attempted to do this, to take this story on, to do justice to the book. But for me, the film didn't work. I never got emotionally engaged with it. I always found that it was an experience of just like being detached from something. I wasn't in the film. Well, recently, two things have happened. Firstly, I'm doing some film music concerts, and one of the guests at one of them is Jim Broadbent, and he suggested playing some music from Cloud Atlas, so I've been listening to the music. Second thing is Cloud Atlas is about to come out on DVD. So I went back to see it again on disc to see whether it looked like a different film second time round. It's not quite the same. I don't think for 1 minute that Cloud Atlas is suddenly a masterpiece. It's not like a film like, you know, Blue Velvet, when the first time I got it completely wrong and second time I totally understood it, or AI, which, as I'm sure you know, I had a total Pauline conversion about. I still think that Cloud Atlas is massively flawed. The interesting thing was, second time round, I felt more warmly towards it, more generous towards it, more affectionate towards it. And I wonder whether it was partly because having seen it once, I kind of knew what was coming, so I didn't feel that sense of letdown or disappointment. Maybe it was to do with the fact that the film actually takes a couple of viewings to work its strange spell. It's such a complex story. Watching it at home again, I was put in mind once again of a movie I cited the first time around when I reviewed it. I was talking about Bill Forsyth's film, Being Human. He had a lot of trouble getting that movie made, and similarly, it was different characters over different time periods, a very enigmatic story, kind of poetic connections. And at the end of it, Bill Forsyth said, you know, the problem is I shouldn't have made a film. I should have just written a poem. Well, obviously, in the case of Cloud Atlas, there's an acclaimed novel already out there. And what the film does try to do, I think, or at least I thought more the second time round, was to do justice to that book. I mean, it has enormous ambition, but it also has a degree of artistry that I think I didn't appreciate first time. And crucially, the second time round watching it, I was never bored. First time I felt very disconnected, very cut off. I never really engaged. I never felt warmly towards it. But second time round, it kind of started to work its strange magical spell a little bit more. I was put in mind of Roger Ebert's review, and he said he'd seen it twice. He said he still didn't know what it was about, but it didn't matter. He liked being dazzled and baffled by it. There's a part of me that thinks if I went back to see it for a third time, I might actually really like it, although it's a very big ask. Hey, see this film third time round, it'll look great. Did you see Cloud Atlas when it was out in cinemas? Have you seen it again since? Has it got better for you? Has it got worse for you? And more generally, which other films have you reassessed when they come out on DVD? See, more and more people seeing movies on DVDs becoming the main way in which people watch cinema. And it does mean that you get the chance to watch it once, twice, three times, to live with a film like a book, to have it with you and experience it again and again. Which films for you have really grown on second, maybe even third viewing? Let me know.
No reason to hide. I know you, Son Me 451.